Boots, we've already done Deadeye. We
know.
looked at Pistol Deadeye,
Yeah.
which is incredibly awesome, OP, brilliant way to tackle PvE encounters. Why are we back? I guess there is the actual
Wait, hold on
weapon.
a second. We didn't just do Pistol Deadeye.
Well, it was a part of this expansion, all right? So
No. We didn't just do Pistol Deadeye. There was also another build in that video that was extremely important.
Oh, was there?
Right?
I don't remember. Oh, was that the medic Deadeye?
That was the minstrel Deadeye. Yeah.
Oh, don't remind me, man. That's probably... I mean, if I could... We should do a top 10 worst Boots Bad builds eventually, like 2 more expansions down the road. And I think that right now, that minstrel one is... Unless you seriously outdo yourself, is probably at the top of the list. That is genuinely the worst
pretty
build
bad,
that you've
yeah.
done so far.
So
So,
look,
is what we've got today going to compete with that, or are we looking at something good?
yeah, okay, so this is what happened. I was, trying to brainstorm stuff for the last 2 elite specs in Path of Fire, the Mirage and the Spellbreaker.
Right.
And they're both, and I also waited for the patch, and I mean,
Still seeing hide nor hair of them.
yeah, they're good elite specs. They're very strong. I haven't had a lot of fun making weird builds for them yet. And
Right,
the whole point about Boots Bad Builds is to have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I came across this idea for the Deadeye while I was just playing around. And what came of it was the least fun build for anyone involved, for any character or any profession in Guild Wars 2.
Wow, you're really selling it on me right now. So just to clarify, for people watching this video right around the time when it comes out, a lot of us are going to be thinking about the big Deadeye update, which you did just allude to a second ago.
Yeah.
What relation does this build have to that update, just so that we're clear?
Kind of none, because it sort of did the same thing before the update. In fact, I think it might have been even a little bit better before the update.
Oh, wow. All right, so they've nerfed your build. Pre-nerfed it. Pre-nerfed.
I'll just get into the build, and you'll understand when I do it.
Okay, so just to recap, this is supposed to be unfun. I noticed we're in World vs. World in the Obsidian Sanctum here. Do you want to swim out a little bit?
Sure,
So this is a World vs. World minded thing, or what?
World versus World. You could use it in PvE. You could use it in PvP. Even I've actually used it in PvP a little bit. Obviously not in ranked because no. But you could.
What kind of a reason is that? What do you mean? Deadeye's alright-ish in ranked.
I was just testing it out at the time. I think it might work. It's just such a weird. Anyway, you'll understand.
Okay, I'm actually genuinely really excited now. You've talked so vaguely about this. Let's jump in.
What do you know about the rifle?
All right, I know that. Do you mean just in terms of how it functions, what it does?
Yeah, like what kind of a weapon is it?
Okay, so single target, long range, very immobile. The skill 5, probably the most defining aspect of it when you view it through the lens of everything in Guild Wars 2. So you press the 5, you kneel down. This locks out WASD movement unless you are dodging. And the 5 a second time gives you free action so you can stand up. But while you're kneeling, your skills gain extra range all the way up to that juicy 1500s, and they get more potent.
Sort of high-powered, you would say? High-powered?
Oh, sorry, yeah, power, definitely. Well, actually, I have fought my fair share of Condi Deadeyes in PvP. Is that what this is?
This is, yes. I would say that the rifle is a very, very viable Condi weapon.
Yeah, so I fought this a little bit. Mostly people augmenting the Deadeye's mark, which is obviously 1500 range, to get the nasty poison and confusion and just horribleness on it. And I have seen some but I'm not entirely sure how they function with that. So I'm quite excited for you to explain this.
Okay, well, I'll tell you right now. It is all based around one trait in Deadly Arts.
Okay.
And that is Panic Strike.
Oh, I think I can see where this is going because there's a cantrip, right?
There is a cantrip, but that's not exactly it.
Oh, okay. All right, so Panic Strike. Immobilizing a foe will poison them, and if we ever strike a foe below a certain threshold, we immob them as well. So when we hit people when they're low, they get immobed and poisoned, and at any time we do any kind of immob, that's poison on top of it too.
Right.
Yeah?
So exactly. So the poison when they're when they're low and they immobilize, that's on a 30-second cooldown. But the poison on immobilize has no internal cooldown.
It's just always, yeah.
Exactly. And if you have potent poison, the Grandmaster in Deadly Arts.
Okay. Poison you inflict has increased damage and duration, and then all your other Deadly Art traits apply additional stacks of poison. So then that augments Panic Strike 2 to be double poison. Right?
Exactly. So you have 2 stacks of poison on each immobilize, and that's a decent chunk of damage.
What do you take for your first slot as well?
For the minor, I've been using...
Lesser Needle Trap?
Trapper's Respite. Yeah, the Needle Trap.
Okay, cool. So whenever you heal, you drop a trap that if someone walks into, it once again immobilizes and poisons and bleeds.
And deals extra. So the immobilize will deal extra poison. The poison is extra damage as well because of the potent poison. And so it's just a needle trap with this setup in Deadly Arts is just extremely damagey.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Plus, you're not likely to be running daggers anyway, and Mug is flat damage. And well, actually, Mug doesn't really scale with power too much, does it? So, and it's always a good heal. So Mug probably has some worth in the build.
Mug's
but
not so
anyway,
Mug's not so bad.
More for later. Yeah.
Now the reason why Panic Strike is so great and makes Rifle such a strong poison, strong condition, even though it has no other conditions except for on the Death's Retreat. Is the number 2 Skirmisher's Shot.
Alright, so Skirmisher's Shot, while we're kneeling down, becomes Spotter's Shot. And that is fire a bullet that grants you boons and inflict immobilize on your target.
That's
so
right.
you can just spam Spotter's Shots to spam trigger Panic Strike. Is that the build?
That is exactly the build. And the problem is, okay, so it only uses 3... initiative, as opposed to, like, there's a similar thing on the pistol 2, which is 4 initiative.
Okay.
So this is far more
spammy,
effective. Yeah.
Yeah. And
you also get the Fury Vigor, whatever, increased critical chance. But most importantly, look at this, it pierces.
Oh my god! So, this is why we're in World versus World, is it? You're spamming.
Yeah, and it's the only rifle attack that pierces too.
Oh, is it now? Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so you shoot through Zergs, immobing and spamming poison on people. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, or you could just do it to roamers or whatever.
Okay, I guess it has some minor PvE application as well, I guess.
Yeah, you could, I mean, since it pierces, might as well do it to PvE people as well.
Okay, alright, so is this at the heart of the build? I see now.
This is the build, and now you could see why, at least for you to begin with, it doesn't seem very fun. And you're right.
Right.
Because sitting down and spamming 2 as a playstyle is not the most fun thing in the world.
Right.
But it's effective. It's very effective.
Well, I guess if we put this in a PvP context, people are going to react. They're going to pressure you, and then you'll have to be moving. So it'll probably be fun just by virtue of the fact. You know,
PvP
most of the damage
and World versus World, this becomes a lot more fun because you actually have to deal with people.
What you've created is a build with the complexity of Heartseeker spam or Headshot spam, but for the rifle. Congratulations, Boots.
And so, actually, one of the versions of this build has a setup very similar to my old Toxic Daredevil.
Right.
But because it's for the rifle, instead of having to get up close, dodge around them, steal into them, and be at 0 range, you can do everything at 1500 range.
Yeah. So, like I said, I have fought against some people. They might be using this exact synergy, surely, if this is your only avenue for that.
Maybe.
And this is genuinely, you just explained it. It's kind of boring to play as. It's really annoying to play against as well.
Exactly. So, although you might not be having that much fun, although you could have fun with it if you're a sadistic person, it's just the worst thing to play. If you don't have resistance,
or enough cleanse.
Well, even cleanse. You don't have cleanse every second necessarily.
No, but the thief will run out of initiative. You do get gap closes.
Do you really run out of initiative?
Surely you do. I don't know. You're the build. Do you not run out of initiative spamming Spotter's Shot? You must.
It's very difficult to run out of initiative with one of the
versions. And you can reflect it and stuff. There are ways around it.
Yeah, of course. There's ways around it. But but it's still really annoying. I mean,
Yeah.
So that's one of the buffs to this build, though, actually, that came with the Deadeye patch. If there is someone also who could shoot at 15 to 1200 range or whatever, and maybe hit you back, like a ranger, let's say.
Yeah.
So that's, like, it doesn't matter if they're necessarily immobilized. So that might be the one counter to your build, maybe? Not really.
Oh, can I just give people a comparison as well? If you're wondering why this would be so annoying to fight, like me, you've probably got a lot of experience of being perma-immobed by rangers dropping binding roots everywhere through their druids, more specifically. This is like that, but a Condi version of that, and perhaps even more egregious.
Yes,
right?
Because
I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah, because unlike the binding roots or whatever, you could break that and sort of move out of it.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the immobilized from the ranger is a hit that lasts a long time. This is spammed short duration immobilize that if you could break out of it, reapplies right away.
Yeah. So, Boots, can you tell me, what does a single spotter's shot get you in terms of poison damage?
A single spotter
How much
shot,
are we actually talking?
Oh, it's only like 1400.
Okay, so you are supplementing that damage with other things. I'm sure you will be with steel, right? With Deadeye's
Yes.
mark, surely.
Yes.
So let's look at the rest of the build, yeah? What's your next line?
My next line, so this is where it might change. I use Trickery because it's a lot of fun.
Okay. Extra initiative as well for more spotter shots.
Exactly. It's the initiative that really makes Trickery the best line, in my opinion. I have also been trying out a version of this build that uses Shadow Arts instead.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the initiative is an issue in that case.
Which
But
one do you want to look at first? Shadow Arts or Trickery?
we should do Trickery first.
Okay.
Right, so with Trickery, you could do Thrill of the Crime when you steal, but it's not that necessary. So I've been doing Lesser Caltrop, the uncatchable one.
Okay. Scatter caltrops that bleed and cripple foes every time you dodge.
Right.
Right, so that helps you maintain your distance from people. Also covers Condis.
Exactly. So if somebody actually makes it to you somehow, just dodge backwards, they get crippled, bleeding, etc.
Okay.
Increases match limit, blah, blah, blah. I've been using Bountiful Theft as my master.
Okay, I really like this one. Stealing grants you and all your nearby allies vigor, and then you rip boons from your target and also grant those to yourself. And
Right, so this is the most important thing because just
take resistance.
Take resistance, exactly. That is very important. If the things that this could give trouble to, or that gives trouble to this, are things like Spellbreaker, who has some reflex, but also the resistance is the big thing. So as long as you can steal that resistance or remove it somehow, then you should be golden.
Okay, I like that. Definitely. Bountiful Theft, always a great choice. You don't really have anything else that's that good looking anyway, right? Like Precious Striking.
Trickster was the other thing I've been using because in some versions of this build I do use two tricks. I use the Trick Heal Withdraw, and I use the Roll for Initiative as well to withdraw some more. So people get close to you, you just back up really easily.
That's got nice, really nice in it. I've seen Condi Thieves, not necessarily rifle Deadeyes, but Condi Thieves running the Trickster Withdraw Lesser Needle Trap combo, the Trapper's Respite, because you get just tons of withdraws that now cleanse and stuff.
Yeah, so...
Plus it's like a double cleanse, right? Because Withdraw itself gets rid of Torment, Immob, Cripple, Chill, and that then it gets rid of that and then gives you an extra cleanse afterwards.
That's right.
From the trait.
That's very good.
So that's cool.
And then finally for the Grandmaster, it's a toss-up for me between all three of them, really. The Sleight of Hand is very good, reduces the recharge of steal, so that means you can steal boons more often and deal some more poison more often. The Gain Initiative while swapping weapons I've been using as well with 2 rifles.
No,
for funsies, because that's another option. Instead of, like, if your withdraw is down, if your roll for initiative is down, if you don't have any dodges left, you could swap weapons, gain some initiative back. And what happens when you swap weapons when you're in sniper's cover? When you're in kneel? If you swap,
yeah, does it unkneel you?
It unkneels you, which gives you your Death's Retreat option up. So it immediately unkneels you, which lets you Death Retreat back as much as you want.
That's cool, but you don't need 2 rifles. Oh, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, you do. You need 2 rifles for that.
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, so that's that. It's just for that one little trick. but it's not very necessary. So that's only if you use quick pockets will you use 2 rifles. Otherwise, sleight of hand is very good. Daze your target, reduces the cooldown of steel, and also since your condition build, bewildering ambush is not so bad.
Not so bad, dude. This is an absolute pick for this. It's got to be bewildering ambush.
It's pretty
There's
good.
No way the others come anywhere close.
It's pretty good.
This is a really good trait.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But I mean, it's a short duration confusion for this build because you gear into poison instead of other conditions.
Yeah, that's fine though. Honestly, especially in World vs. World and stuff, people try casting through that, they blow themselves up. It's so strong, bewildering ambush.
Yeah,
I love this trait.
It's
and
good.
applying it from 1500 range without having to teleport into someone and make yourself vulnerable is really cool.
That is nice. So anyway, there you go. That's the 3. You could use any 3 of them, honestly. It's your choice, guys. And then Deadeye. Deadeye is the last trait line, obviously.
So I'm curious about this because I don't remember anything Condi relevant at all at any juncture on any of the picks for Deadeye.
There kind of isn't anything Condi relevant.
So how do you do this?
I've been going for Fire for Effect for your Grandmaster because although Quicker Be Killed is pretty great, gives you quickness, you don't need that power and precision for it, but the quickness is great. But Fire for Effect, I've been using my stolen skills quite a bit, and 8 stacks of Might and Fury is pretty damn good for, especially for your friends as well. You could, I mean, easily top yourself up really quickly to 16, 24 stacks of Might, and that adds to your condition damage, so that is good for this build.
Yeah. I have a question. Does Malice increase Condi damage as well as flat damage?
I don't think it does either anymore.
Oh, no, it's a trait, isn't it? It became a trait doing more damage with Malice.
Maybe? No?
Yeah, it's the Grandmaster. It's increased the maximum stack. Oh, no, maybe it's not.
No, I think they removed that base damage increase with Malice.
I thought their blog post suggested that they kept it. Oh, well, whatever.
They rolled it into the stealth skills.
I see. Yeah. I know what you mean now. So that's irrelevant. Yeah, it seems like Fire for Effect then, definitely.
And then I use Silent Scope as your master.
Okay, enter stealth when you dodge with the rifle equipped. Did you see the dev post saying this is about to get an update as well?
Oh, what kind of update? Uh-oh.
No, they're making it better. Right now it's in combat only, which is people don't like. It will work whether you're in or out of combat.
Oh, great.
Once that patch goes through. And right now it stealths at the start of the dodge. They're changing it so that it stealths at the end of the dodge, and the reason that they're doing that is because right now if you fire like one of your poison applicator bullets and then dodge, the bullet will still be in midair. You stealth at the start of the dodge and then you reveal yourself, and it's kind of clunky. So by moving it to the end, so yeah, they're changing it slightly to make it better, which is cool.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so Silent Scope is kind of fun. I mean, it's just in this build right now, it's just another means of escape, basically.
Okay.
And also, I mean, with the gear, I'm using Carry-On and a little bit of Vipers. And with the gear, with the 20% crit chance increase, you still have a decent amount of power in this build. So when you do go stealth and use your Death Judgment off of your stealth attack, it does do a decent amount of damage. If it crits, it can get up to like 6,000, 7,000 or something.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Not bad at all. Now, and then finally, one in the chamber as my miner, my adept.
When you cast a cantrip, gain another new stolen skill. Yeah, so you use these a lot to supplement the might generation and stuff, right?
Exactly. This uses a bunch of cantrips. And so actually, I might as well go straight into the utility skills now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we got Binding Shadow, which got a bit of an update to not rely on Malice anymore, and it is better.
Okay, immob your target after a short delay and remove their boons. If the foe is marked, it's also knocked down. Yeah, this is gross. Whether you're Condi or flat damage, if people use this correctly, it is a really brutal ability.
Yeah,
if you don't land it right.
So this is another way to remove that pesky resistance if they have it. And does the immobilize, so that's an extra 2 poison stacks. Does an additional 2 poison stacks for 20 seconds, which is a heck of a lot of damage. And 15 stacks of vulnerability. And
the 3-second knockdown. Like, this skill just does so much stuff.
Yes, exactly. It is a very powerful skill, and it's extremely powerful for a Condi Deadeye. So yeah, it's very good. You'll use it on your guys all the time, and that gives you another stolen skill.
And then you get a new stolen skill from it as well.
Exactly. And your elite skill, Shadow Meld, just because it's so good, and it's a cantrip that's on a count, so that you could get more stolen skills as well if you want to.
For sure.
I've been using Mercy, actually.
Yep. I've heard of Mercy a lot as well. Again, really good synergy with Bewildering Ambush, right? So cancel your current mark and instantly refresh Deadeye's mark.
Exactly.
Gain initiative for each sack of malice you had.
Yeah.
So the idea of Mercy, guys, isn't super evident really early, but basically it's a fresh recharge for your still.
Yes. So that means you could get your Bountiful Theft back up, another 3 boons stolen if you want to. You get initiative back per mouse, 2 stacks of initiative back per mouse, so that's a great way to regain your initiative for your spotter shot spam.
Yeah.
And
just mouse over your mark right now. Look at all the stuff it does. It's nuts. You know?
Yeah.
It's poison on there. It could be potentially confusion on there. 8 might. 8 might. It's nuts, dude.
And so there you go. So Mercy is very powerful for this build, and it's a stun break, which is fantastic.
What's your last utility?
My last utility, I mean, this is kind of a layover from when I had Trickster, but it's roll for initiative.
Okay. No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's good to get you out of the kneels and stuff. Get away from people.
Yeah, well, yeah, so while you're kneeled, it still works, so that's always great. And the other thing about it, though, is, you know, I do like it. I don't know if I need all that initiative, though. So other options are obviously the trap. Needle trap is pretty good. When people get to you, they get trapped.
Spider Venom is the mainstay for most Condi thieves.
Exactly, and Spider Venom's the other option. So if you feel like you don't need all this initiative, Spider Venom or the trap are a good way to go. Spider Venom better because that way you don't actually have to have them come to you for it to be effective. And that's 6 stacks of 12 stacks of poison, which is, what is that, 12,000 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also say, for what it's worth, to me, Shadow Step would almost be non-negotiable, especially for PvP, because of the Condi cleanse on it, and obviously a stun break that moves
I feel
you really
like,
far.
I mean, the way you play this build, though, is you pretty much never try to get anything next to you, so that you don't actually need to do that. Like,
okay, that's fair. It depends where we're thinking, right? But I definitely think for Conquest, just getting around the map better, being able to port up and down places.
Oh, sure,
like,
yeah.
It's so much mobility.
Yeah, there are...
Gives you those decaps and stuff.
It's interesting that there's so many really interesting and good utility skills for this build.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I could see other stuff as well. There's other ways to get cleanse in there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so that's this build. It'll be showing in action as I do it. I gotta record a bunch of stuff for it. I haven't done any yet. I've been just playing on my laptop. Okay. Hopefully my computer doesn't die in the meantime. And
yeah, so your computer's dying, so I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, can we do the why it's bad section? And I've got one big thing for what...
Real quick,
go on.
There's a variant of this build that I was trying out that has a lot less initiative, but is still pretty interesting, which is that Shadow Arts version I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
And in Shadow Arts, Grandmaster, you have Rending Shade. Steal boons from enemies you strike with stealth attacks. Incoming damage from
this
enemies.
is interesting because
Exactly.
it pairs very well with the new Deadeye emphasis on stealth attacks, right?
Exactly, and with your silent scope, you just dodge to get stealth.
Stealth.
And immediately use your Death Judgment, rip some more boons. Like, so obviously you'd only be doing this if they have the resistance up or some other kind of thing that's really annoying you. And so it's more of like a active play kind of thing. You look at their boons, see what's giving you trouble, and steal boons if you need to. And you could do the Leeching Venoms or the Hidden Thief if you want. Really, the problem is Shadow Arts is all for that Grandmaster. And it doesn't give that many extra bonuses, except for condition removal with your Adept.
I do like the minor meld with shadows, comboing with silent scope too. That
Oh,
just
sure.
means yourself
4
lasts that
seconds
much
instead of
longer.
3, yeah. And you're using Shadow Meld as well, so you have a ridiculous amount of stealth with Shadow Arts, but you lose a lot in the initiative domain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but the interesting thing about this is for the stealth version, I changed my gear up a little bit. I went full Vipers instead of these carry-on amulets and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Full Viper trinkets. amulets and stuff like that instead of.
And what's the
carrying.
reason for that? Just you feel you need the added pressure from gear now?
Because I'm not using thorns anymore as my rune. I'd be using runes of the Trapper.
Oh, okay.
So with runes of the Trapper, you have your trap on your heal, and you also would start using your needle trap as your third utility skill instead of whatever.
So with Trapper runes, do you stealth on withdraw?
You stealth on withdraw. Yes, at the end of withdraw, when you put down the trap, you would stealth.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, and you don't even have to use withdraw necessarily because it's on a 30-second cooldown, and withdraw is 18-second cooldown. Yep. So if you want to have the pure synergy and go for a 30-second heal, which is actually not so bad right now, you could do Malicious Restoration.
Oh, the new one.
The new one.
Heal yourself and transfer condies to your marked target. Oh, I like that as well. Look at that range, too.
Exactly.
Another 1500 range.
Exactly. I mean, I wish Thief had some kind of way to put conditions on yourself to sort of play into that. Really,
oh, come on. In World vs. World and PvP, you're going to have condies on you. You don't need
I mean,
that.
the way
Yeah,
you
that's
play
so
this,
PvE oriented.
the way you play this build, though, you really don't want to have anything. You want to be, like, away from everything the entire time.
Well, yeah, it's not realistic to expect to
No.
never
So there
have
will be
condies
use for the Malicious Restoration, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's on a
That's
30-second cooldown. It'll stealth you as well, give you super speed, and then you can remove some boons at that point. Same thing with your needle trap.
And it's another cantrip, so even more stones.
Exactly. I think people underestimate how good these ranged cantrips are if you play into them well enough, especially for a
Are there
Condi
any
build.
Condi-oriented ones?
Exactly. It's a Condi build. The cantrips are the stolen skills are Condi.
Oh, are there Condi stolen skills? Seriously?
Yeah, there are.
What ones are they? Can
Some
I
do
look them up
bleed.
on
I
Wiki?
think there's one that does torment. I'm not sure about poison though, but yeah, they feel more Condi. I mean, they also do slow. I think on one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you have some Condi duration, they're pretty good.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
That's nice. I kind of want to play this, you know.
You should. It's if you want to be really mean to people, go have fun.
It sounds really cheesy, and that's why I kind of want to try it out.
It is really cheesy.
And I know it feels horrible to be on the receipt or a variant somewhere near this.
Yeah, imagine if you had like just 1 or 2 Condi clears and no resistance. Imagine your life against this build.
Yeah. And no range to counter. It's gross.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that's what I also wanted to point out though, actually. Range is not a counter for this build anymore because of the changes to Deadeye.
Oh, so yeah, what's this buff you were talking about?
So yeah, go kneel down.
Okay.
What does your skill 4 become?
Sniper's cover. Create a barrier of shadows that absorbs incoming projectiles. 5 seconds. Oh my god, I can cast it. Oh, this is a really weird ground target. That's extraordinary, though.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I haven't played with this. What?
It's
So you
really
can create
good.
like a little nest for yourself?
Yeah, and no longer...
And now you're blinding as a cover Condi too, because it's a combo field.
That's exactly right. So with each of your spotter shots, you're doing cripple, immobilize, poison, and blind.
That's disgusting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
I want to try this, man.
I know, and it pierces too, so everybody gets them.
Yeah, what happens with piercing in a combo field
That's
like
a
that?
good question.
Do you put out 5 blinds or just blind the first guy?
I want to say yes, you put out 5 blinds, but I haven't actually looked carefully enough to test.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Jesus. Dude.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Anyway, so there you go.
Is this the only smoke field in the game that doesn't blind on pulse, by the way? I don't think I've ever seen a smoke field that doesn't blind on pulse, but here I think we've got one.
But that's it. So you have your sniper's nest. You sit down, you have your sniper's nest, you put down your traps. And then maybe 2 traps.
This makes me want to play against you on a DH, just so that I can use longbow 3 to go straight through your little wall, your cover, and knock them over.
Yeah,
And then use my F2 to cleanse and jump in on your face and try and kill you that way.
But then I just withdraw.
I can also pull... Dragon Hunters can pull you with the F1 as well. That's unblockable too.
Yeah, but
They
you
can
know,
yank you out.
you do have your stun breaks and you do have your get away fast things.
This looks gross. I like this a lot. What was I going to say for the why it's bad section? Oh, yeah, I've got my idea. Can I say why it's bad?
Sure.
Okay, so the one thing I think you've missed, the one trick, is that, and it's particularly inexcusable, for you on that character is because as a human, you're not running the Melandru Oakheart elite, which spams out immobes and like crazy poison. That's still a thing, isn't it? Or was that nerfed?
I don't know. Okay, so you turn into a Oakheart.
This was totally a thing in raids for a while, and it was cheesy as all hell.
There is
and then you used...
Yes, there is an immobilize.
14
and pulses. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's binding roots, yeah? So you use that and it like it stacks poison up on people as well.
Oh my god.
So if you can stealth yourself somehow to cover the really clunky cast and whatnot and engage with that, that's going to be hilarious.
That's so stupid. So 14 stacks, so 24 stacks of poison from that?
Yeah. The other thing you can run as well is Grove Runes for the added annoyance. I know that you're going to be like, but the synergy, it doesn't have condition and blah, blah, blah. But do Grove Runes anyway, because then when people attack you, they get Binding Roots as well, which would do it again. Come on, this stuff would be amazing, right?
That's hilarious.
Just to make it even more annoying. But yeah, other than that, and maybe some slight changes, I really do think that confusion trait is nuts, by the way. I really think it's nuts.
It's good. It's good, but I haven't had... I've always liked it. I'll tell you, I've always liked it a little bit more than the steel cooldown reduction with the days.
Yeah.
But it's still, yeah. I mean, it is good. It is good. I'm not going to say
You're right that steel reduction on the cooldown on steel is super potent on this build as well, just because of all the might and stuff you give yourself.
Yeah.
And getting that extra initiative and whatnot. So, you know, I think you're right that it can swing either way, but I love Bewildering Ambush, basically. And,
yeah, fair enough. And in reality, you don't need the extra initiative on retreat, on weapon swap. Because if you wanted to retreat, you could just get out of cover and retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have to say, really. And I'm excited to see your footage of it.
Well, hopefully my computer lasts long enough for that to happen.
Yeah, no, we got through the video without your computer exploding.